Hola chicos, señora Ana here. So we're going to talk today about ir a and the infinitive, okay? So let's just review very quickly. We kind of already talked about this, but I wanted to review the conjugations. So let's just review the conjugations of the verb ir. Remember, you need to memorize this one. This is a very important verb. It's an irregular verb. That's why it does not follow the pattern that we usually see on er or ir or ar verbs, and you have to memorize it. So we have boy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. Make sure you're working on memorizing those conjugations. Now, remember that we talked that there were two main ways of speaking or using the verb ir. We talked about number one on Monday, that it was to express that you are going somewhere. And now we're going to talk about the second one, which is to express that you are going to do something. And this second one is basically talking about something we're going to do in the future. So this is the simple future in Spanish and is the one we use the most. Okay, so pay attention to it. We're going to talk about things that we're going to do. All right, so let's talk about a little bit of reviewing from Monday. So we talked about a dónde vas, y a dónde vas significa, all right, if you actually said where are you going to, that's correct, or to where are you going, then you're right. And so remember that when we use the verb ir for this, we say ir, a, and the place, and it has to include that definite article. Like voy a la playa, voy al cine. Now remember very quickly, just as a review, if a is in front of el, then we're going to use al. And this was Monday, okay? Now we're going to talk about how to use it to say that we're going to do something. So we're going to have a key question, which is ¿qué vas a hacer? Now, chicos, we learned the verb hacer before. Hacer significa to do. Yes? So when you ask ¿qué vas a hacer? That would mean what are you going to do? So we also have kind of like a formula for this. We're going to use ir, then a, and then the verb in the infinitive. So this would give us, for example, I'm going to study, or you are going to read a book. Okay, so here are some examples. Voy a jugar baloncesto. See, we have voy right here. That's the ir conjugation. We have a, and then we have jugar baloncesto. Now, there's no al in here because we're actually talking about verbs. In the previous one, we're saying like, I am going to the park. That's why we had to use el or la or los or las. But now we're not saying that we're going to go to the something. We're actually saying that we're going to play basketball or to watch a movie or whatever it is that you're using. So it's a little bit different. So we're not going to use a la or al in here. Or voy a ir de compras. There's voy, then it's a, and then there's ir. So in here we're saying I am going to go shopping. Remember, this is all in the future. These are things that we're going to be using for the future. Okay, and so we're going to do a little bit of practice right now, okay? And please pause it. You can write it if you want to, but as long as you're saying it at the very least, that's a good practice. Remember, you have got to do your own work because I'm not there to encourage you. So here's the thing. You're going to look at the pictures and you're going to write what people are doing. And of course, it's kind of like covering part of it because the camera is right there. Here's how it's going to be. This picture is going to tell you what the activity is, but you have to read that question. And pay attention. Think about what you're asking. It says, ¿qué van a hacer ustedes? Now, very important, I do want to talk about this. When we are native speakers, we blend sounds. So for example, when it says ¿qué van a hacer ustedes? You never hear that from a native speaker. You're going to hear ¿qué van a hacer? And that's because we kind of like put together this sound with this sound, and then we blend this a with this a. So we say ¿qué van a hacer? ¿Qué van a hacer? ¿Qué van a hacer ustedes? Now, what does ustedes mean, chicos? When you think about that. Ustedes significa, let's try to write this. Ustedes significa you all, okay? Oops. Sorry about that horrible handwriting, but it's hard to do this on the screen. Okay, so ¿qué van a hacer ustedes with me? What are you all going to do? And so you're going to look at the picture, and that's going to give you the activity. That would be what? That would be mirar la tele or ver la tele. So you could respond this by saying, vamos a ver la tele. Now, why would we answer with vamos? The subject was ustedes, but we responded with vamos. That's because I'm asking, what are you all going to do? So I'm talking to someone. So those people have to respond back to me and say, we are going to do this. So you have to pay attention to those questions. All right, so let's look at the next slide. It says, ¿qué van a hacer Marcos y Pedro? So think about what is our subject, Marcos y Pedro, okay, oops, and think about what I'm asking. So, ¿qué van a hacer Marcos y Pedro? You can pause it if you're writing it. Van a leer el periódico. Now you can say, ellos van a leer el periódico, or you can say, Marcos y Pedro van a leer el periódico. I'm just kind of like simplifying it in my answer, but you know, you can add more. In Spanish, remember, we do not need, once we know who the subject is, we don't need to put that back again on our response. Okay, and then we have, ¿qué voy a hacer? ¿Qué voy a hacer? Now, this one's a trick question. Think about what I'm asking. Dice, ¿qué voy a hacer? What is the conjugation that boy is using? Who would be the subject? The subject would be yo. So what am I asking? A rhetorical question. So in this case, ¿qué voy a hacer yo? I would respond by saying, vas a patinar. Now this is an interesting one because I am asking, what am I going to do? So that means I'm asking someone. What am I going to do? And you're going to reply, tú vas a patinar. Okay? ¿Qué vas a hacer? Voy a escribir una carta. Make sure you have your vocab out so that you can review all of this. ¿Qué vais a hacer? Pay attention to that conjugation. Vamos a visitar monumentos. Vais is for vosotros. Remember, vosotros significa y'all. Okay, and that's when it's used in Spain, remember? So if I'm asking, what are you all going to do? Then we will respond by saying, we are going to visit monuments. ¿Qué va a hacer usted? ¿Qué va a hacer usted? Voy a ver películas. I'm asking, what are you going to do? Usted is formal. Then I would reply, voy a hacer películas. Now, one very quick question. There's one more use with ear. And this part you're going to write and kind of like practice where Dora the Explorer is in your handout, like at the bottom of it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, pause the video and then go look at the file very quickly so you know what I'm seeing. And so there's another expression or another use for ear. In Spanish, you're going to hear us use vamos a and then say something like, vamos a trabajar or vamos al cine, and you're going to see this being said to people. And in those cases, it also means like, let's go somewhere or let's go do something. So, vamos a jugar basquetbol. Let's play basketball. O, chicos, vamos a leer un libro. Let's read a book. Or, vamos al cine. Let's go to the movie theater. So, sometimes we also use it to just kind of say, let's. Por ejemplo, vamos al cine, let's go to the movie theater. Or vamos a comer, let's eat. So that's the other use of the verb ir. All right, chicos. So now you're going to go to the Microsoft form and you're going to complete that practice. It's very simple. And then that's about it for right now. Adios, chicos. Nos vemos.